This is the MountainTop B2B portal landing page. There are a lot of functionality in the MountainTop B2B portal, but before we get into all the functionalities, let's have a look at the user profile. So I'm logged on as demo. I can click on here and I can review my profile. So in the profile function, I can define the name, my phone number, and typical information like the billing address and delivery address. And you can maintain as many delivery address as you want. All depends on what is available in the back office ERP system. Then of course, we also provide information pertaining to the credit information, like the credit status of the customer, the credit limit that's assigned, and if you have a credit rating engine in the back office, also provide credit rating so that the customer knows what is their rating with you. Let's go back out to the front of the landing page. So the landing page right at the top, you have a lot of functionality. For example, you have the product catalog. On the top, you have My Purchase. The My Purchase displays all the purchase that the customer have filed through the portal, meaning all the orders that they have put through. If a customer only requests quotation, you can have the My Quotation functionality as well. Then of course, you have the credit history. I'm going to deep dive into that a bit later. Then of course, the customer can contact you via email or directly from the portal. And then you have some content that you can post onto the portal. For example, video tutorials, catalogs. These are totally up to the business depending on what they want to feature on the portal. Fully 100% configurable. Lastly, of course, favorites. And you can use favorites in a multitude of ways. And one of the ways that I will show you later is to use favorites to do bulk orders. So customer can then highlight all the products that they always continuously buy from you. And instead of searching through a product catalog, they can go to favorite and put in the order directly. Now on the landing page, the first part that you see is actually the banner. This banner advertisement is very useful and is very commonly used by many companies running a B2B portal. Here's where you advertise your products or provide meaningful information about your company and the products that you sell. As we scroll down, every single portion once again can be defined by yourself depending on what you want to do. So for example, it's very common for companies to advertise their brands so that they can allow customers when they log into the system to buy products directly by brand. You can also define flash sales. It's very common for flash sales. Now today in the pandemic, encouraging customers to buy more and using this flash sales functionality could help you increase sales. And there's some interesting functionality here that you can see straight away. You have a product rating, typical for any product websites, you have the star rating. So having 5 stars indicate that the product is of good quality. And this is solely up to you to define. Therefore, you can also define, in this case, because it's a flash sales, what is the discount that you're giving? What is the price, original price, and what is the sale price? You can go down further, you have new arrivals, you can have best sellers. These are examples that you can put in. Then for new customers who log on into the portal, you can provide the request for quotation function. So the request for quotation will automatically send an email to the back office user, and the back office user can then provide the quotation. And this quotation can then be provided online back into the B2B portal. So the customer can then download the quotation. And I'll show it to you later in the quotation function. As we scroll down, there are a lot more information that you can decide to publish. For example, FAQs, information about your business, and so on and so forth. So these are all fully designable by the business user. Let us scroll back up to the top and have a look at other functionality in the B2B portal. Let's look at the next function. We shall now explore the product catalog. So the product catalog can be accessed through this option on top of the page. We click on product, and what happens is on the first page that you see is a listing of all the brands that you might have. This is just an example. You can go direct to product, but you can build up a brand hierarchy type of setup within the portal. So let's look at this brand, Landini. So in Landini, in this example, they got many models. So you can define all the different models, for example, in this setting. So we can drill down further to the actual product catalog. So in here, there's a listing of all the products that is related to the brand that we just saw just now. Now you can actually enter an order here directly into the system. You can enter bulk orders at the same time by entering quantities and pressing on the shopping cart. So on this screen, the customer, when they're using the B2B portal, they can view the price and they can also view how much quantities are available in stock. Now, all these are configurable. Some customers can choose to not display the price, and also not display the quantity that is available. So this is up to the configuration when we start setting up the system. So it's quite easy and simple to use. And what you need to do is to provide all the thumbnail pictures to populate into the portal. Alright, let's look at the next function. The next function is the content management. Now, content management here is fully designable by the user. And in this example, I have two categories of content. One is the video tutorial and the second one is the product catalog. And all this you can maintain in the back end of the portal. So we come to video tutorial. You can have a list of various video tutorials. And in this case, the video tutorial here is actually connected to YouTube. So this saves having to store all these videos locally into the B2B server. And then you can connect directly to YouTube and customers can then play the video directly from the portal. So that's an option that you can have for content. The second one is if you have physical product catalogs and you digitize the product catalog, you can also publish your product catalog online here. So the customer you can allow the customer to download the product catalog or just view it online as it is. Now let us go through the B2B order, how a customer can easily put in an order through the system. Let's go down to the bottom. Let's look at my bestseller item, the Landini engine heater kit. So as we select the Landini engine heater kit, the customer can then look at the price as displayed. There's also a description of the product. There's also the rating for the product. And they can also see what is the estimated delivery lead time. In this example here is 7 days. Now, if you have more pictures of the product and you would like to provide the customer a 360-degree view of the product, you can put in more thumbnails. And right down the bottom of the page, you have a little heart button here. This is to indicate a favorite item. So by clicking on this icon, this item will be saved into the favorite function where you can perform bulk orders. So to add this order, you just simply add to cart and it's done. So let's have a look at the shopping cart right at the top here. Let's click on it. It gives you an option here to put in some additional information. And these are all fully configurable. In this example here is the tractor serial number. So the reason why the customer wanted to do this is to ensure that the spare part the customer is buying corresponds to the tractor that they have in their business. In this example, we also force the customer to put in a purchase order. So they can enter the purchase order number here. Now the purchase order can be in a digital form or it can be in a physical form. All depends. But we allow the customer to load a digital copy of the PO right in this portal. So let's put in the PO number. And we can then make the purchase. So in this summary screen here, prior to checking out, we can put in notes. And this is where we can also upload the purchase order. So we click on the button called Upload File. Let's search for the PO file. So my PO file here, and we have the purchase order. So that we can attach the purchase order. And so here we see the purchase order that is being appended into the order. So this will then be sent back into the back office so that the business user can then look at the PO and have a copy of the PO. So if we scroll down the bottom, we have the details of the product. You can put in additional notes for the product as well. If you need to do drop shipment, you can put in drop shipment as well. And if you do a drop shipment, you can then change the delivery address. Then we also allow you to define different payment methods should you want the customer to pay cash straight away. So you can go through payment portals like PayPal and so on and so forth, or you can pay by credit card. So these are options that you can define in the B2B portal. So if you're done with the order, the customer is done with the order, then we just simply press the checkout button. So the order is now done. All right. We have checked out. So the other things that we can look at for the customer is we can again look at My Purchases. So we come to here in terms of My Purchase. In My Purchase, we can look at all the different statuses of the orders that we have entered. So these are some examples of orders that we have submitted. Let's look at an order. So these are details of an order. And in the order, there are many stages of the order that is being processed. And then there's a highlight in terms of the process step. For example, starting with order processing, dispatch in progress, in transit, and is completed. So these different stages you can define and configure in the portal itself. So this is an example of what you can view in terms of all the purchases that you have done. And if you have done quotation, you can also view quotations. So these are examples of quotations that we might have requested to the customer. So if you want to view the quotation, if there's a link, it's a quotation being submitted, you can look at the details of the quotation. These are the process. And the quotation that is linked to this quotation request, you can actually display the digital copy of the quote. The last little portion here is on the credit history. You can publish the credit history for the customers. For example, highlighting what is the credit availability, what is the aging, how much money are they owing you. This is totally optional. You can choose to publish this information to your customer. And down the bottom, you have a list of all the different invoices that you have from the back end, whether they have been paid or whether they're an outstanding. So if you have an outstanding invoice and you have a digital copy of the invoice, you can also connect the digital copy to the transaction line. And then the customer, when they log into the portal, they can actually view the physical copy of the invoice. This is to ensure that, there's no excuse from a customer saying that, hey, I didn't have the invoice or I lost the invoice. You can actually upload all the invoice information directly into the B2B portal. So that's some of the examples that we have for the transaction portion within the portal. This is the B2B dashboard function for administration. So on the first screen here, what you can see is sales, a lot of sales statistics, whether is it a quarterly, year-to-date, the monthly sales, contribution by brand, and of course, sales by various channels. On the menu side, you can have a look at information pertaining to who are the customers that have been registered in the portal, all the B2B orders that has been entered by customers, of course, the administration functions, content management, what are all the content that you can build and add into the portal, information pertaining to stock setting and the setting out the hierarchy for the inventory to be displayed in the B2B portal. And lastly, of course, is the B2B registration. Customers who register and you're allowed to make approvals or reject the registration. We can have a look at the customers. These are a list of all the customers that have been registered to run in the portal, for example. So there's a search function. And if you have many customers, you can search for those customers. Next, you can look at the history of all the B2B orders that are active. So there are many statuses with regards to the order. You can search the orders by various status. In this example here is all the orders that are submitted. So you can see these are all the orders submitted. You have an order that is being processed. You can click into the order and view the details of the order. In this instance, you can see all the items that has been ordered, the value, excluding tax, including tax if you need it, and then the delivery details. Then, of course, for content management, here's where you can maintain information pertaining to your brand advertising on your portal. This is for the banner advertising, the first one. You can specify all the different videos that you might want to insert into the portal. Your product catalog, if you have any to load into the portal. And lastly, of course, if you have newsletters that you can also load into the portal and deliver it online to your customers. This is all the functions in the content functionality. Lastly, of course, is the B2B registration. This is where users, when they first want to utilize the B2B function, they will make a registration. And then it's for the for the administrator to decide to reject or approve the application. Subsequently, after approval, the relevant user ID and email will be sent to the user for them to access the portal.